Hey, what's up? So, for the past few days or past couple of weekends, I've been really putting in an effort to clean up some of my files on my computer, on my external hard drive, on my drive on the cloud, on my USB. And it's been taking a lot of time, and I've managed to clear up about 700 gigabytes, which might not sound like a lot, but especially if you're dealing with big files, like big media files. But while those were part of the cleanup and there's still lots to go, I'm starting to get a little bit more narrow where the file sizes are much smaller, and it takes a lot more time and effort, especially if you want to go through like your old documents and things and make sure that there's nothing still important before you clear them out. Yeah, it's what I'm working on at the moment. It's interesting because when people talk about minimalism, they're often referring to physical items, things that are in your house, and same thing with spring cleaning. It's often physical items. And so I think it would be good to maybe not necessarily include a digital cleanup as part of those, but to consider that as part of cleanup in general. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of different places where you might store your information. You might have it on the cloud, you might have it on an external hard drive, you might have it on your computer, and maybe you've got backups. And if you've got backups, sometimes they get out of sync and you need to resync them. And it's always a good opportunity when you put time into it to kind of go through it and see what you still need. Because when I look at files from 10, 15 years ago, I mean, they made sense to have them then, and it was okay to hold on to them just in case I still needed them. But I can look back now and honestly say that, do I really need this? Probably not. And so it's an opportunity to delete the file or, remove the file. Something that might not have been an option, or it might not have been the right option maybe like 5-10 years ago when I still might have needed the file. But once you've cleared a certain amount of time and you haven't used the file or needed the file, looked at the file, it's probably okay to delete the file. Obviously use your judgment. If it's like a really important document or file, then probably it's a good idea to hold on to it. But yeah, I don't know, like an old airplane ticket from 10 years ago. If you're into holding on to that nostalgia, great. But, as part of minimalism, I think I can look back and say, I don't really need to hold on to that ticket anymore. I can just delete it. And there's many examples of those, even old projects, especially with coding. So you might learn a framework. What's interesting is you might learn a framework, and 10 years down the line, that framework is pretty much dead. And so while it was interesting to learn it at the time, it might not be relevant or useful anymore. And so I can look back at some of those files and delete those, etc., etc. I think it's a good idea to clean your files. Computers are often quite personal. I mean, that's why they're called the personal computer. So I don't know exactly how everyone else uses theirs, but I can imagine it's similar, but also probably quite different. And so for me, I tend to just keep adding files, and I never, you can maybe delete a file here and there, but for the most part, I think it just keeps piling on. And so in order to keep things nimble, keep things to the essentials, I think it is good to clean the files. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you later.